Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today is a very special day because I finally get to share my brand new book with you. It has just been published here in Turkey and I couldn't be more excited. This is the printed version and in a moment I'll show you the original artworks side by side so you can see how everything came together. The story is very personal to me. The inspiration came from my son. He has always been afraid of bees. Whenever he saw one, he would run away. And sometimes he even jumped toward the road where cars were passing. Luckily, nothing bad ever happened, but those moments sparked the idea for this book. As a writer, I also read a lot of books, and I believe each story I read adds something to my imagination. So, this book is not only about my son's experience, but also about all the little inspirations that come from reading, observing life, and paying attention to small, everyday moments. For this project, I use collage technique, but with a twist, I didn't glue the pieces down permanently. Instead, I used sticky tack, which means the corners stay lifted, creating this really fun 3D effect, as you can see. You see the shadows here and here. If I had scanned the images with a flatbed scanner, all that shading would be lost. Photography was the best way to capture it. I'll see in the original one, as you can see the shades here. And more details we can see. You see all the shades here, like darker spots. Okay, photography was the best way to capture it, honestly. Let's continue. Here's a little tip. If you try this yourself, set your camera to 300 dpi and control the lighting in your studio, close the curtains, keep the sunlight out and shine bright lights directly onto your work. Let me walk you through my process. I start with high quality drawing paper and cover it with acrylic paint. This gives me vibrant textured backgrounds. Then I cut out shapes from painted paper, leaves, flowers, animals, trees. Because I'm using sticky tack, I can move these pieces around freely, trying different compositions. Next, I draw the main elements with colored pencils, plants, animals, little details that bring the world to life. Finally, I arrange all the collage pieces on top and adjust until I'm happy. It's a very playful process, and I had so much fun creating these illustrations. Honestly, experimenting and moving pieces around felt almost like playing a game. It kept me curious and excited with every page. So let me show you all this one by one. I hope you like it. I really enjoyed making these illustrations. And I'll show you the printed version versus the original art. Here it is. I hope you see it well. So this is the full book, and these are the illustrations. Let me show you more pages closer up so you can see all the details. And so you see it's turned out very well, I guess. I used these two characters on two different pages, but with the same background, as you can see. Since the backgrounds didn't change, I didn't have to recreate it twice, because when you are making a book and working under a deadline, small time saving techniques like this can make a big difference. Let me show you another example. So in this illustration too, I used two different characters with the same background. I did this to keep the overall look consistent and make the scenes feel connected. Using the same background helps the story flow better and keeps everything visually cohesive, especially when you are working on multiple pages of a book. So I highly suggest you to do this. Also on this page, you probably noticed that the character doesn't have a body. Let me explain why. I actually used that body on a different page. It's kind of funny, I know. Before taking the photo, I just moved the body around instead of making an even one. Normally I create a full character for each page, but I guess I was feeling a bit lazy this time. Anyway, this is a good example. You can totally do that too. Also, you might have noticed that in the original collage illustrations on many of the pages, I didn't actually make the bees. There's a reason for that. Bees are very small, and since these illustrations are already quite tiny, it would have been really difficult to create them in such a small scale. So instead of making teeny little bees, I decided to make bigger ones, take photos of them, and then add them digitally in Photoshop later. This approach saves a lot of time and also gives you more control over how things look in the final image. You can just adjust the size, position, and even the color of the bees really easily. So don't be afraid to mix techniques. Using photography and digital editing together can make your work much more flexible and fun. I highly recommend you trying it out if you're working on detailed collage illustrations like this one. So lastly, let me tell you about the cover illustration. Honestly, at first, I had no idea what to do for it. I was completely stuck, but then my editor came up with this idea, and it actually worked out really well. This just shows that it's totally fine to collaborate closely with your editor when you're working on a book. You don't have to do everything on your own. Sometimes fresh ideas from others can really make your project stronger. A story inspired by my son, brought to life with collage and color. I hope you enjoy this little behind the scenes look. Remember, creating art takes patience and practice, but it should also be joyful. Don't be afraid to experiment, to read, to explore, and to find inspiration in unexpected places. Thank you so much for watching. I had so much fun making this book, and I can't wait to share more with you in the future. See you next time. And if you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss what's coming next. Bye.